designer fragrances for men that will make your friends jealous. So you want some fragrances that are really unique and really, really good. I have a small list that accomplishes just that, and as always, if you're interested in any of the fragrances that I mentioned, they're all available in the Amazon affiliate links down in the description below. Now, I'm going to start with one that's just kind of the epitome of men's fragrances, but still pretty niche, and this is Lighton from Parfum de Mali. So this is an extremely high quality, high class fragrance, and it's unique for a variety of reasons. It mixes spiciness with a touch of sweetness while still being very masculine and very strong. So this, whenever I smell this, I think of cold weather because it's a very cozy, warm, solid sort of fragrance. This is really good for the autumn and the winter and just whenever it's cold in general. But the spices in this, there's a little bit of coriander thrown in, very spicy, very warm. It's just really sophisticated and really effective. If you know already that you enjoy spicy fragrances, 99% you're gonna like this. This is definitely a very unique type of spicy fragrance because again, it mixes those spices with a little bit of sweetness without going overboard, without, becoming more feminine or anything. And it just has a very distinguished smell to it. It's very strong as well. I would say 6 to 7 hours of longevity. You can't really go wrong with it. The brand itself, Parfum de Mali, they're known for producing very high quality fragrances. So, it's hard to waste your money on this. Plus, it's a very nice bottle. It's a heavy bottle. I don't know what it's made of, but it is heavier than your average bottle. Then, coming in with one of my favorite fragrances for men because it's just so unique and interesting, which is Replica Jazz Club. So, I like this because, of course, it's, trying to emulate what a jazz club would smell like, which is a pretty unique thing to do. So it has, what you would expect from a jazz club, some boozy notes, some tobacco notes, a little bit of vanilla in there, just kind of this mysterious, smoky fragrance. And it's really nice. There's a little bit of sharpness in there as well, mixed with the warmer notes, so it's kind of smooth but sharp at the same time. So Jazz Club in general it's kind of what you would wear if you want to be more mysterious, more seductive, more just kind of more distinguished, I suppose. This is definitely not your mainstream fragrance. It is something, that you can cut through the crowds with this because it is so unique. Now, longevity on this because it has so many heavy notes, but it's not too overwhelming. It's more around a 6 to 7 hour longevity. Really good projection without being too obnoxious or too in your face or anything like that. So it's in general pretty smooth but solid and prominent. Then, going for something that's more unisex, little bit of sweetness, little bit of smokiness, you could go for Manera, which is Red Tobacco. So this is you can guess from the name, it's a tobacco fragrance, but there's a little bit of sweetness, not too much. Like I said, it's unisex. So the sweetness comes from its vanilla note, which is really nice. It is kind of a warm, toasty vanilla with a little bit of sweetness, which makes it very effective. And the tobacco note that it has as well is warm and solid, but not too much, because sometimes tobacco fragrances are too harsh, they're too smoky, but this does a really nice job of creating a smoother and more sophisticated smoky tobacco note. So in general, this fragrance is just, like I said, a solid option, especially if you prefer a little bit of sweetness. Again, nothing crazy, but just still nice and balanced between the sweet notes and the more masculine tobacco smoky notes. And of course, this is not all that mainstream, so once you wear this, you will stand out effortlessly, because everyone else is going to be wearing the typical Dylan Blue, Versace Eros, but when you come in with something like this, you will just pierce that crowd. Then, going for more of a classic option, but still holds up really well, you can't really go wrong with Creed Green Irish Tweed. So this is, like I said, classic. Classic of the classics. This is a very, very sophisticated scent. I would say this is the most formal scent on this list, but it is pretty versatile still. It is primarily a green sort of fragrance, kind of a little bit cold, a little bit clean, a little bit fresh. But then you have those more natural green notes, kind of like you're walking through a garden or something like that. Pretty sharp, definitely on the sharper side. Longevity is maybe 5 to 6 hours, moderate. And it came out in the 80s, but it has a modern approach to things. It's kind of timeless. And this is definitely a gentleman's sort of fragrance. You could wear this, going to work, you going to a nice dinner, or whatever you think is appropriate, because this is an expensive fragrance. This is more of a special occasion sort of fragrance. But like I said, and because it's from Creed, it's going to be good, because they always make really, really high quality fragrances. Then, coming back to Parfum de Mali for this last one, which is a really, really nice one in my opinion. I have this very small sample of Pegasus. So Pegasus is really, really nice. It's a simple fragrance, but it's still effective. Whenever I smell this, the main note that I get is bitter almonds. And that doesn't sound very interesting, but bitter almonds mixed with everything else that this has is just delicious. So this is also kind of similar, not in how it smells to Creed's Green Irish Tweed, but in the sensation that it provides, in the fact that Pegasus is an extremely sophisticated, gentlemanly scent. It is a little bit on the lighter side, definitely not as strong as Lighton or Red Tobacco. More of a subtle fragrance, but very, very sophisticated and elegant men's scent. Again, this is good for going to work, going to a nice dinner, going somewhere nice in general, just because it's such a refined fragrance and very unique. Because how often do you come across almonds in fragrances, especially men's fragrances, that actually smell good? So this does a really, really good job of taking this really kind of underused note and creating something really spectacular with it. Now, the main downside is that longevity is not great. I would say 4 to 5 hours, but I would say it's still worth it, just because the smell that it has is so unique. I have never smelled anything remotely similar to Pegasus. So definitely, if you want to make sure that you're wearing something that no one else is wearing where you're going, you might as well go with Pegasus, because it is very niche, very unique, just overall. But that is my list for this video, so hopefully you found this video helpful, and of course if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And I make videos throughout the week, so don't forget about those.